This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Good morning, everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Abom. We're continuing Mishna Berura Daf Hashavua. We're learning Siman Lamed Beis, Sif Mem Aleph. We're going to try to do two today. Sif Mem Aleph. Oirech v'roichav habatim v'goivan ein lo shiur. The length and width of the batim and their height, there's no shiur. Let's see what this means. The length and the width of the batim has no shiur. Okay, says the Mishna Berura. I guess in terms of height, width, length, width, and height. Says Mishna Berura, Mikol Malkum Nachan Locha Shadavei Hagoinim Shatzam L'Chadchila Yaso Isam Katan Me'etzba Ayim Al Etzba Ayim. You should be choishesh for L'Chadchila Goinim who hold that it should not be smaller than 2 fingers by 2 fingers. Okay, which is V'hainu Im HaTitura, with the Titura. Meaning not the bias top part alone, but with the titura, with the bottom. Va'ayin be'oilas tamid shekasav dim'ein machzik im titura rak etzva al etza afilu v'yavad pasal. Thus Talmud says that if it does not take up the space of 1 finger by 1 finger, it's possible v'yavad. V'chein pasak b'sefer biur Mordechai. Va'ayin b'sefer El Yerabah shalaman aleim schos. Look in the Sefer El Yerabah, who is malamed schos on those who have less than an etzba. I could think of a very good limud chus. The shita of the Shulchan Aruch that ain't lo shiur. You know, that sounds like a pretty good limud chus if a person has no other pair. It should be a minimum 2 fingers wide. Besides all of these other factors, that there needs to be a minimum shiur. That aside from the other factors that there might be a minimum shiur, it is very common that these kinds of tefillin, the writing is very cramped and it's very inferior. So basically the El Yerabah is saying he's seen many small tefillin and the writing is extremely cramped and therefore you should stay away from it. Should definitely not have less than 1 finger by 1 finger, and l'chadchila should be more than 2 fingers by 2 fingers. Let's see the Bir Halacha. Says Bir Halacha, Ayin be'erevin tzadi gimel, Amud Beis, be'gemara, v'ayin heta b'rash halachas ketanois, the seder Tikun tefillin b'ksar mashikos l'inyan shira tefillin b'vir agor b'sif zeva kavan nir lanias daiti dafilu fidas shulchan aruch destam desasam lachat de'ein lahem shir. Okay, like we said, even though the Shulchan Aruch is soisam, there is no shir. Mikamagam fi mad muchasham b'gemara de b'roish chem b'yad imakam rak laniach shnei tefillin. The Gemara does say that there's space only to put 2 pairs of tefillin. V'loy shloisha yeshizar gvanim shlo libosh tefillin pam ketana ma'oidu pam shiu gedolim shloisha. Meaning, don't wear tefillin that sometimes are small and sometimes 3 times the size. To have sometimes tefillin 1.5 and sometimes 4.5, it could be either the first ones are going to be too small or the second ones are going to be too big. Because basically the Gemara says there's only room to put 2 pairs of tefillin and not more. But let's see how they explain it in this diagram. What's the manavshach? He says over here, if 4.5 is within the makam of tefillin, right? So in other words, if you're able to get 4.5 fingers in the makam of tefillin, and tefillin that means can only contain 2 pairs of tefillin, that means the shiur of tefillin is more than 1.5 etzbais. So when you're wearing 1.5 etzbais, they're puzzle. Or if the second ones, if 1.5 is good, then 4.5 is going to be too big because there's only enough room to put basically 2 pairs of tefillin. So you don't want to get yourself in a tarti desasri. Even if you want to say there was only enough room back in the day to put 2 pairs of tefillin, not 3. But nowadays, there is room to put 3. But then the raya of the rush is pushed off. The conclusion of the Be'er Halach is V'anochin la'adam shiur tefillah of tamid memutzam. They should be always in between. Dahainu loy pachas misharatz ba'ayim, not less than 2 fingers by 2, and not more than 4 by 4. Dahainu ima titura v'hamavarta, meaning they should not be more than 4 fingers with the titura and the mavarta. Really? Is our tefillin? Okay, let's see how the diagram comes out. He says the highest spot of the tefillin is the chatzi ha'etzem, the halfway point of the top bone. The lowest point is usually the beginning of the bicep. So I'm not sure what this shear is. He says, don't make tefillin too big. You don't want to end up putting it on the chatzi ha'etzem, which is closer to the armpit, or which is not makam hatapuach, which is not where the muscle goes up. I'm not sure what he's quoting, because the Be'er Halach in the end says v'hanochin la'adam shiur tefillah tamim u'mutzayim. Not sure who he's quoting here. Oh, yeah, that's the next Be'er Halacha. That's Be'er Halacha. Look in Be'er Halacha ein loy shir v'ayin b'sefer shulchan shloimei shekatzon kamal g'asatun gedam ad ma'od sha'idei zo yeveh shal nichan amakim smichas hasaros v'chein b'shal yad shlo yaveh nichan k'tzas al chatzi etzem shesam v'es hashachi, or if it's below the bicep. Okay, so this is Sif Mem Aleph. I just don't know if our tefillin are smaller than 4 fingers. I mean, our tefillin with the mavarta is smaller than 4 fingers? I don't think so. Right? Our tefillin are smaller than 4 fingers? This should not be less than 2 fingers. And with the mavarta, it should be 4 fingers. All right, I think we're going to have to take it out. Okay, so this is going to be the first year.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.